everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the construction work which was done by Mughal emperors. It means the gardens, tombs and forts which were constructed by them. What are tombs? Tombs where graves are kept. So, gardens, tombs and forts constructed by Mughal emperors. So, under Mughal, architecture became more diversified. Okay, it became more complex. At the time of, there were 6 main rulers of Mughal Empire. First of all, Babur, he constructed gardens. Humayun was the book lover. Akbar, he was famous for his administration, and Jahangir was famous for his interest in art. And Shahjahan was famous for his architecture, and Aurangzeb just broke the temples. Okay, he was a fanatic. He was a fanatic Muslim. बिल्कुल कट्टर मुसलमान होना कि किसी और की बात ना सुने. Only and only respect his own religion. Okay. So first of all, we are discussing about Babur's biography. Babur's biography. Babur, who established gardens, and we are discussing about gardens only. ये so in तुझो के बाबरी और बाबरनामा, this is autobiography of Babur. Autobiography, obviously then Babur has written. Yes, in his autobiography he described his interest in planning or laying out 4 gardens, and these 4 gardens are also called Char Bagh. Okay, so he described his interest in planning or laying out the gardens which are placed in the rectangular walled enclosure and divided into the 4 quarters by artificial channels. Artificial channels mean the water sources like canals or other fountains, something. Yes, so how? They were just divided into, it was a rectangular area, and this was divided into 4 parts, and these parts, these were the gardens. These 1, 2, 3, 4, these were the gardens, and here they were just joined with the artificial channels. Okay, it means here some artificial water channels, water resources were there. Okay, and these were also called Char Bagh. And we can get to know about this in 1590 when he was supervising the work of laborers who were just making the Char Bagh. Okay, so as Babur established, or Babur constructed the 4 gardens. So after that, Akbar, Jahangir, Shahjahan, they also constructed Char Bagh. So Akbar's, in the rule of, at the time period of Akbar, Humayun's tomb was constructed where 4 Char Bagh system style was followed. Okay, and this was not constructed by Akbar. No, it was constructed in the time period of Akbar by Hamida Banu Begum. It means Akbar's mother. And after that we are discussing about Shahjahan. In the time period of Shahjahan, Shalimar Garden in Kashmir, it was also based on Char Bagh style. And after that, Lal Mahal Bari, which is also based, which was constructed in Rajasthan, it was also based on Char Bagh system. There's one example of Taj Mahal as well. Yes, Taj Mahal is also there, which where gardens are there, but not Char Bagh, but still their gardens are located nearby the Taj Mahal. Yes. So in Shahjahan's time, riverfront gardens were there, and we will discuss at the time of when we will be discussing about Shahjahan. Okay, now we will be going to discuss about architecture in the rule of Akbar. Architecture in the rule of Akbar. Before that, I hope this is clear to you all. Till now, I have told you that much is clear to you all. Okay, then write one question in your notebook. Name Babur's autobiography. First question is name Babur's autobiography. Second question is who constructed Humayun's tomb? Who constructed Humayun's tomb. And the next question is, Akbar was famous for dash. Akbar was famous for dash. So these are the three questions that you have to, their answer you have to give in your classwork notebook. Write their answer in your classwork notebook. So we are coming to our next topic, what the architecture in the time period of Akbar. So we discussed right now about Babur, and now we are coming on the topic about Akbar. It means the construction work in the rule of Akbar. It means during Akbar's reign. So we can say that Akbar, he took inspiration from the tomb of Temur, who was his ancestors. We discussed in chapter number 3 that there were two lineages, and these were of, one were Mongol and one was Mongol and second was Timurid. And the Mughal emperors, they considered themselves of Timurid dynasty. Yes, that's why we can say that the Timurs were the ancestors of Mughal emperors. So he took inspiration from the tomb of Temur and constructed Humayun's tomb in his reign, in his rule. Now we can't say if if Humayun's tomb is there, so only in Humayun's tomb only and only his tomb is there, his grave is there. No, there are other person also whose grave is kept in there, in his tomb, in that building. Yes, so Humayun's tomb, Dara Shikoh tomb and Hamida Banu Begum's tomb is also there. So he took inspiration from the tomb of Temur. How? In the tomb of the Temur, there was a dome which was built in the dome shape, and large gateways were there, like same structures like the tomb of Temur. These structures were kept in the Humayun's tomb. And in this tomb, the tomb was placed in the center of Char Bagh. It means if these are Char Bagh, the tomb was placed in the center of Char Bagh, and those large gateways, they were called Pishtaq. Okay, and the tomb was placed in the center of Char Bagh and built in the concept of 8 paradise. It means जन्नत जाने का रास्ता क्या है, मतलब 8 दरवाजों से होके निकलता है. It means 8 paradise. It means there was a hole in the tomb where the grave was kept, where the tomb was kept, and there 8 doors, 8 gates were there. So it was a combination, it was constructed with the combination of red sandstones and white marbles. So this was about Akbar, and now we are discussing about Shah Jahan during Shah Jahan's reign. So we can say in this time of, because we know that Shah Jahan was famous for his architecture work. Yes, so different elements, different styles, different type of constructions, different architectures, they were fused together, they were mixed together, they got combined together. It means the ruler of one place or the one regional culture and the styles, they were fusing with another, they were just getting the others' ideas as well. Yes, so we can say that at this time ceremonial halls were constructed. Ceremonial hall were of two ceremonial halls were there, Diwane Aam and Diwane Khas. As the name is telling ki Diwane Aam means aam logo ke liye, for common people, and Diwane Khas which was built for the meeting with his allies and the minister and the special person. Yes, so we can say that Diwane Aam, it was just for common people, and it was a 40-pillared hall. It was a 40-pillared hall. 40 pillars were there, and it resembled a mosque. As pedestal means where the king's throne was kept. Yes, the pedestal where the king used to sit on his throne, it was described as Qibla, and that pedestal was kept in the west direction only, which is towards Makkah. Okay, and they described themselves as the shadow of God, and it means we can say that they described themselves or they considered themselves as the God. So in Shah Jahan's throne, if we discuss about Shah Jahan's throne, there was a series of Petra Dura. What is Petra Dura? Petra Dura
is a technique in which flowers are made in the wall by inlaying colorful precious and semi-precious stones. For example, in the walls of Taj Mahal, the style Petra Dura is inlaid. So the example is of Taj Mahal, as you can see on the screen.
Okay, so this was a series of Petra Dura inlays that depicted the legendary style of Greek god. And Greek god we discussed about earlier. That was King Orpheus. Yes, playing the lute. Yes, and in Shah Jahan's throne, there was Greek god Orpheus. He was playing the lute and its petradura was there. It means the picture of Greek god was carved there. So, the construction of, now we are discussing about the construction of Shah Jahan's audience hall, which was Diwan-e-Aam. It gave the message of equal rights and equal justice. He all will be given the justice, whether they are the his allies or anyone else. If anyone is right, so he will be given the justice. And in the early years of his rule, Agra was the capital, his capital, and after that he went to Shahjahanabad. He established a new city, a new town with name Shahjahanabad, which is now known as Delhi. Okay, and he ruled there. And Agra and the Delhi, they both were the most these places where the most of the construction work was done by Shah Jahan. So the things were made in 4-bagh concept in Agra. In which concept in Agra? In 4-bagh. I told you about Taj Mahal. I give you example of Taj Mahal. Yes, and the riverfront gardens were adopted by him. It means you know very well that Taj Mahal is situated on the bank of river Yamuna. Yes, if there is river Yamuna, here Taj Mahal is there and here gardens are located. Yes, so they will be called riverfront gardens where the areas which were river front, it means जो भी यमुना river के साथ जो भी areas लगते थे, they were given to, they were allowed, there were only and only special person or his allies were allowed to live there. Okay, but when he went to Shahjahanabad, he thought and he controlled this thing कि when near Yamuna river, when near river in Delhi, he controlled the riverfront area. It means only and only the Imperial Palace. The Imperial Palace where Shah Jahan was living, the King's Palace where the Shah Jahan was living, that was riverfront. Okay, that was riverfront garden and riverfront building. Okay, but near the areas here he allowed them to live here. But in Shahjahanabad he controlled this thing and he did not allow them to capture these area which was near the river. As you know that if any building is seaside or if any garden is river faced, so we can say that its value will be very much higher than any other building. Yes. So in Agra, it was his earlier capital and nobility. It means his allies, they constructed their homes to live on the bank of the river Yamuna, and the riverfront gardens were there and dwellings, they were made in the edge pe, not in the middle. And after that Shahjahanabad, after Agra he established new town, that is Shahjahanabad, and which was away from riverfront. Okay, now we are discussing the Imperial Palace. Right now we discuss about Imperial Palace, the King's Palace. He commanded the riverfront. It means it will be the riverfront. But the areas which are nearby, only and only special allies were allowed to live there, like his relatives and his son. They were only allowed to live there. But special favored novels were only given access to the rivers, like Dara Shikoh. So all other had to live in their homes or construct their homes in the city which was away from the river Yamuna. As you know that Delhi is also situated on the bank of river Yamuna. Yes, and Taj Mahal was also on the bank of river Yamuna. So this was about gardens, tombs and forts which were made by Agra Fort. Agra, I told you na. So in Agra Fort was also made by emperors, by Mughal emperors. Now this topic is done. So I'm giving you some questions. I hope this topic is clear to you all. This is very easy. If you are watching the video very carefully, you will be clear about this. So right question, I want to ask you something. So you are to tell, name the city which was established by Shah Jahan. Name the city established by Shah Jahan. Name the buildings, name the ceremonial halls which were made by Shah Jahan. And next question is, in Akbar's reign, the tomb was placed in the center of Charbagh and built in the concept of dash. In the concept of dash. And next is, the construction work in Akbar's reign was a combination of dash and dash. What type of stones? Okay, so these are the 4 questions. Their answer you have to write in your classwork notebook. Hope this topic is clear to you all, and we'll meet you in next video.